So I read the book $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. By Alex Hormozi. He's an entrepreneur and an investor with a net worth of over $100 million. If you know anything about this author, then you will know that he is pro-hustle culture. I, on the other hand, am a Christian and I do not believe in the hustle culture. Neither do I agree with a lot of his other worldviews. However, there are a few concepts in this book that I agree with as a business coach, and I'm going to be sharing those concepts with you in this video. So let's jump in. So the key theme of this book is that generating leads is the lifeblood of any successful business. And at this point, you're probably asking, what are leads? What does it mean to generate leads? Leads is basically a word that is used in the business world that basically means potential customers. And basically in the book, the author says that there are only two ways to grow your business. The first way is to get more customers. The second way to grow your business is to make your leads or your prospective buyers worth more. And what that basically means is that you are maximizing the worth of your existing customers, either by enhancing your products or your service offerings and basically increasing your price or finding more ways to increase your income. I would say this was like the key theme of the book, and he was telling you the different ways that you can achieve that. And once you have that awareness, there are certain steps you would have to follow to pitch to these leads or these potential clients or potential customers. The first step is that you would need to create a core offer. Don't worry, when you hear these things, don't get confused like, oh my God, what does that mean? What's a core offer? A core offer is simply what you promise to give in exchange for something of value. So what businesses mostly do is that they would promise to give you a product or they will offer you some services in exchange for money. That's how businesses make money. So if you have a product or a service and you make a promise to someone that if you buy this product or you take advantage of this service, then I promise you that you will get this result because you did business with me. And in exchange for the results that I'm promising you that you would get, you need to give me something of value in return. And in most cases, that's money. In essence, what you're doing is that you're advertising your core offer so that your potential customers or your prospective buyers can find you and engage with your business. To be honest, sometimes this is the only step you may need to follow. You just promote your product or your service or whatever, and people just engage with it. However, in some other cases, you may have to move on to the next step, which is creating a lead magnet. The author defines a lead magnet as a complete solution to a narrow problem. But let me explain it in simpler terms. Since you already know that a lead means a prospective buyer, a magnet is metallic in nature, it attracts other metals to itself. In the same way, a lead magnet, when you put it together, is like you're creating something to attract your potential customers or your potential buyers. And in order for you to successfully attract those leads, that lead magnet would have to be valuable. So the author was basically saying that some people can just benefit from saying, oh, I have this product. Do you want it? And then people are like, yes, I want it. And everybody's rushing to buy the product. But there are also some cases where it's like, that's not enough. People want to know more about this core offer before they actually take that step to buy. This is usually common when you're selling something that is expensive. And so if you create this lead magnet, which is usually very cheap or very free, and it ends up solving somebody's problem in a narrow area, then that person is going to be more likely to buy your expensive product or service. And the reason the lead magnet works so much is because you've solved a tiny problem in this person's life, or you've opened their eyes to see that there is even an issue that they need to solve. And in order for them to get this problem solved, they would need to get your core offer. Most people would actually take that step, especially if your lead magnet was actually valuable. The third step to getting strangers to buy your stuff is to get engaged leads. The difference between leads and engaged leads is that leads are more like people that get the opportunity to see your stuff stuff, whether it's your product or your service or whatever. Engaged leads, on the other hand, simply means leads that have gone from just seeing that you have a product or a service to taking one step further to actually doing business with you. So for example, if somebody were to find you talking about your product or your service online, and then they get your lead magnet, whether your lead magnet is an ebook or a template or a program or a presentation or whatever, for someone to take that extra step to download your lead magnet, it means that this person is interested in doing business with you. So the person is not just a lead, the person is now an engaged lead. In order for you to get engaged leads or people that are interested in your lead magnets, there are two approaches you can take: one-to-one or one-to-many. One-to-one is basically just you having personalized interactions with your potential customers. The second way you can get engaged leads is called one-to-many, which basically means you are broadcasting a single message to a lot of people at the same time. And the most common way to do this is through content creation. And of course, once you're done creating this content, you're basically directing people to get your lead magnet, and once they get your lead magnet, they become engaged leads. You can do the same thing in your one-to-one interactions. You can talk about your lead magnet to potential customers, and then they get it, and then they become engaged leads, and these are people that could potentially buy your product or your service no matter the price. So we've gone through the first three steps: creating your core offer, creating a lead magnet, getting engaged leads, and the fourth step is to get more leads. So now the question is, how do you get more leads? The author talks about a system that he created called More, Better, New, which simply means you either do more of what you're currently doing, or you do what you're currently doing better, or you do what you're currently doing somewhere new, maybe on a new platform. So let's go over the More, Better, New framework step by step. The author basically says that even if you do not make any improvements at all, if you double your inputs, you would get more engaged leads. To an extent, I agree with this framework, because he's basically saying, do the math. If you do more of what you're doing, you will get double the results you're currently doing. And in as much as mathematically that makes sense, it can also be a recipe for burnout if you do not have people working with you, if you are a solopreneur. In that instance, doing more may not be practically possible for you. If you find yourself in the position where you cannot realistically implement this, let's say you cannot hire more people to help you, there are actually other strategies that you can do, which is why he suggests doing what you're currently doing better. So basically what he's saying here is that if for some reason you cannot double your efforts, you can make the little efforts that you put in to reap more fruits because of the quality of the effort. And in order to be able to do something better, you would need to experiment a lot. You would need to run a lot of tests. And the goal here is that with every experiment, you're just making your product or your service 1% better. You're making your content 1% better. You're changing something, you're tweaking something to see what works and what doesn't work. However, if you've tried to do more of what you're currently doing and you get overwhelmed, then you try to do what you're currently doing better, and you've realized that you've maxed out how much improvement you can make on what you're currently doing, then of course the next thing you can do is to do what you're doing somewhere new, on a new platform. Let's say try creating content on Instagram if you were only creating on YouTube before, or try creating on YouTube if you were creating on Instagram before, or try creating on TikTok if you were previously not creating content there. You can just go somewhere new and try to see if that makes any difference. And of course, when you go on different platforms, it will force you to try different styles of content, which is also something new and could potentially increase the flow of your engaged leads. So now that we've gone through the 4 steps that you can take to get strangers to want to buy your stuff, I'll give you my biggest takeaway from reading this book. The author basically says free content makes all other advertising more effective. So what I took away from that is, if you reach out to someone and they cannot find content related to your product or your service, they are less likely to buy. On the other hand, if they find out that you've been putting out valuable content, they are more likely to buy from you. So if you're ready to supercharge your content game and start creating content consistently, you can click on the link in the description box below or in the pinned comment below to join my consistent content class for free. If you found this video valuable, then like this video, and if you're not yet subscribed, kindly click on that subscribe button down below, and you can also check out this video right here. See you there.